With the newly founded DC Studios, co-CEOs James Gunn and Peter Safran have been making a lot of changes to our DC characters over the last several months. Some of those changes really good, some of them not so good. With these changes, there's been a lot of uncertainty and a lot of questions regarding some of our favorite characters in the future of the DCU. We know that Superman and Batman, unfortunately, are being recast. The questions remain for Jason Momoa as Aquaman, the future of Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. Of course, there is a lot of questions about Ezra Miller as the Flash, but there are also questions about Zachary Levi's Shazam. During the press event that James Gunn and Peter Safran had a few months ago, and during the solo video that James Gunn did, revealing basically part of their Chapter 1 DC slate, said that Shazam is in a weird corner of the DCU where he would very easily transition into the future, but was very, very vague about it. And during a lot of this drama and uncertainty, vagueness can be a little bit unnerving for a lot of DC fans. And some DC fans over the last couple of days have been tweeting at David F Sandberg. Now, David F Sandberg, if you didn't know, is the director of the previous Shazam movie and the upcoming sequel, Shazam! Fury of the Gods. One of the questions was, how much has James Gunn and Peter Safran, since taking over DC Studios in the last couple of months, how much have they changed or reworked Shazam! Fury of the Gods? And in response to this, David F Sandberg said this: "No, the finished movie was delivered end of October last year, so right before he officially began the job. Sure, sometimes production can add scenes or do changes very last minute, but nothing has changed on Shazam. It's a freestanding story, and they've told me it doesn't affect or interfere with future DC plans, so no reason to change anything." And if you didn't catch that part, he said it doesn't affect or interfere with future DC plans. So a lot of DC fans read a little bit into this and kind of rightfully so assumed that this is David F Sandberg's way of saying Shazam does not have a future in the DCU, that this movie does not affect anything going forward. And by, of course, the press event and the slate reveal, we know that none of those movies included Shazam 3. Well, now today, David F Sandberg has responded to another tweet saying this: "Hey David, I don't feel like watching the movie because of the drama happening around DC Studios. It's just killing the vibe of the film. There's a lot of uncertainty about DC's future. Just give us an answer whether Shazam will have a role in the future DCU." And David F Sandberg replied with this: "He definitely won't if people don't go see the movie. What I've been told is that there's nothing in the Shazam films that contradict the future plans for DC. So the possibility for more Shazam is there, and if that's what you want, your best bet is to go see the film." Making it sound like really what it's going to depend on is how this film does financially. Because after all, the first Shazam movie, I don't think it even cracked the $400 million mark worldwide, which it was still a big enough success financially, as well as a big success critically, that got to greenlight a sequel. This sequel, though, has a lot more money into the budget, and I don't think they're going to settle for another film that makes less than $400 million worldwide, especially after Black Adam. But in that original tweet that David F Sandberg put out, he did say that it's a freestanding story, meaning it is kind of standalone in nature. This film was produced and developed during the AT&T Warner Brothers regime, where every DCU movie was kind of more director-driven, did not focus on telling a interconnected story or any sort of story that alluded to a potential crossover in the future. The Flash notwithstanding, and of course they removed some scenes from Aquaman. But Shazam, the first Shazam movie, did not have Henry Cavill, and Shazam! Fury of the Gods, although the trailer has alluded to a lot of characters, it doesn't sound like it was going to have, the Earth explode in the third act of the film, and you just got Shazam and Henry Cavill's Superman sitting there in space going, uh-oh, what do we do now? It's probably not how this movie's going to end, and I think that's David F. Sandberg's way of saying it's a freestanding story. It doesn't affect or interfere with future DC plans. But that's just my thoughts on this. That's just my perspective. Combining that with, of course, it needs to be a box office success, which is, of course, something we've talked about before. I think the same could be said for The Flash. I think the same could be said for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. And unfortunately, Wonder Woman's not getting a third film. We already know that. But what do you guys think about all of this? These are all the updates from David F. Sandberg, again, the director of Shazam and Shazam! Fury of the Gods, kind of giving us conflicting reports and conflicting information on the future of Shazam in the DCU. If you're interested in more updates or more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel because that's pretty much all we talk about. Thanks for watching, and until next time, have a great day.